Hi there, Michael André Ford in Texas, your American Angel Intuitive or your connection to the universe. I help people get out of thinking what they think they know long enough to be here to get any answers to any questions, all languages spoken, all dialects. Imagine what this means for so many industries, for scientists, for science itself. You can literally have any answers to any questions. You have to be open. You have to get out of the currency that humans use today, which is knowing. A lot of knowing, but it's the type of knowing that doesn't really mean much. It's knowing that precludes possibility. It's not openness. It's not love. In fact, it's unlove. We're all doing a lot of thinking. As soon as I get done with taping this, I'll go right back to thinking, and some might even sneak into this little broadcast. But the more you can be in your heart, the more you can be open, the more you can be present, the more you can get beyond words, beyond thinking, beyond rejecting, reacting, resisting. It's all fear-based stuff. Humans are really good at it, if you haven't noticed. Look at our world history or what's left of it, what you're allowed to access. We like to do harm to others. We like to control everything. We don't like freedom. We don't like free speech. We don't like a lot of freedom stuff. Like, you are amazing how you are right now, but not many of us actually believe that or allow for that. We think we're in certain dilemmas, either individually, we're in the middle of relationship troubles, health crises, work situations, drama-rama. If it's broader, it could be organizational or it could be at the country level. Humans are capable of an infinite amount of love or flowing of energy or lightness or higher frequency. We tend to wheel and deal in density. And I guess that's what this age is about, is humans figuring out or remembering what's always been. We are not alone in the universe. We've got access to tons of different guides, loving beings who are just here to help. They don't want to interfere, because that would be like me telling you how to behave in your personal life, me telling you what to know, me telling you what's okay and not okay to say. That's, again, what humans do. And they do that out of thinking, out of the ego, out of intellect, out of the psyche. It's a resistance to the universe. Love itself is the fabric of the universe. You don't have to have a near-death experience or a bout with illness to remember what it's all about. Yeah, as a kid, you were there. Most kids were there as a kid for certain stretches of time. And for periods of your life, you're open or experienced a smooth patch. You're able to walk a smoother path. You haven't skipped a beat, missed a step, ever. You've never lost it. Love is an actual constant. And the only thing that can pull you out of love is a little bit of thinking, which, again, it's like the Indy 500. We're all race car drivers on the track going 222 miles an hour. Can't help ourselves. And it's really easy to judge other people, whether it's political parties, the neighbor 10 doors down, what's going on in this other country. I think Mother Teresa said it best, and look at the controversy that's generated around her. But she said, if you judge people, you have no time to love them. If you only had to pick one quote, and I'll try to read a bunch of different quotes and go off these quotes in a little bit to keep just spinning the wheel here. We are so locked tight in our value system, our character, which I wouldn't want to change a single iota of detail. I wouldn't want to tell you how to think less or show you which area you could lighten up on. All that figuring out is something that you have to do. It may take you decades. It may take you 5 separate lifetimes. You're the only one who can do the heavy lifting, and I would argue that there's no lifting at all. It's actually a lightening up. You get out of here, you get into here. As one angel put it, Charlotte, 7% less thinking a day is the Olympic gold medal for us all. And we can flip that pancake. What is 7% less thinking? It's 7% more here. So let me go big picture, what I've been doing for 13 years. This could have happened in 3 hours. If mankind was sharp, on it, quick to the draw for figuring things out, all of mankind could have boosted its awareness. Awareness is here. Not more thinking, not more intellect, not more knowing, scientific knowing that precludes possibility, not all the limiting things, not all the stuff that's stuck in time. We're talking the timeless, no limits, more in harmony with the universe, more in harmony with the earth itself, more in harmony with nature, more in harmony with all there is, more in harmony with yourself, your higher self, your soul, more in harmony with all others. There's a global slipstream of consciousness or love that's everywhere, and you plug into it when you do sports. You exercise, that's compassion. When you take a nap, when you pet your dog, when you love other people, when you love yourself. Self-love is where this all begins. You have to learn how to let go. It's there's nothing to gain here. There's nothing to lose. There's nothing you have to do. There's nothing you have to stop doing. Move past seeing the negative on this. This is not like a New Year's Eve resolution at all. It's simply within you. The more you can smile, breathe, laugh, those are probably the three fastest ways to get to here. Read a book. There's 4 million ways to get to here, but if you haven't noticed these days, the human mind is racing collectively everywhere. There's 40 million reasons why you can't be you. You have to adhere to someone else's standards. Everyone's got these rules of behavior now and words that you can and cannot use. Free speech, free will, you be you, Scotty P, are paramount for everyone. Once again, we're entering another time frame of humanity that there's, thinking is trying to seize control of everything. And that means, again, limiting others' abilities to just be free, be happy. But the good news is none of your happiness is dependent on externals. None of your happiness is dependent on anything at all. And I'll give you a quote from angels. And this is the real rub. What are you allowing for daily? Forget the spiritual stuff, forget the universal stuff, forget if light beings exist or angels or your relatives. You can meet and see your relatives, chat with them, fairies, a Pleiadian, and so on. Forget all that. What are you allowing for daily? Are you happy? Are you breathing more? Are you smiling more? Are you making other people happy? Are you starting with yourself, self-love? That's the rub for all this. So here's the big quote that I think is one of the most important quotes I've heard in 13 years. You can be happy now in this very moment for no reason whatsoever. I think that's key. Again, there's nothing you need to do to be happy. There's nothing, you slow down the doing on all of this. In today's Western societies, with all the rat race thinking going on and the stuff going on with different groups back and forth, what people are doing to people, all the judging going on, all the limiting. This is about less doing, less knowing, more breathing, being, and being in the actual flow of life itself, nature, the universe. You can feel it through your feet if you're in bare grass. You can feel it in your surroundings, your apartment, your house, someone else's house, if they've taken care of the property. It's a little bit of the Star Wars stuff, not the new Star Wars stuff that's doing a lot of judging, thinking, categorizing, and limiting. The traditional Star Wars stuff that's all about how you have it all within. You're already a Jedi, you just don't know it. Or maybe you've had a few brief moments of it. You just know when someone's going to call. Or you're really good at business and you always get yeses in certain situations because you just kind of get a sense for how the person in front of you is reacting, what to say to make them feel better. And in the end, you conclude a good piece of business. They win, you win, collectively, 1 + 1 = 11. So there's something always going on more in the current moment. It's up to you to do the figuring out, to pay attention to this, and to be aware of how you're spending your energy. There's just simply something called thinking. It's not going away for humans. Unfortunately, we wish. It'd be great to go free of ego. It would just stop all the killing, all the harm to the environment, all the people, all the just judging and all the hatred and resisting, reacting, rejecting, fear, worry, stress. It would be great, but not realistic. But you can be more aware of where you're putting yourself. And if ego pops up, you can let it serve as a reminder for what you have to decide all over again. Is it going to be to breathe, to smile, to just relax more, to not take something at face value right away and realize, independent of whatever is going on, it could be a very serious family situation. Feel what you feel. Don't judge. There's a way you can keep yourself intact and be a shinier, brighter light, and therefore not just for yourself, but for others, especially in the middle of drama or a family crisis or some sort of a community crisis or anything else. This is just about kindness, compassion, gentleness, and everyone is firmly on their path right now. Even the person you think is the worst person in the world, they're firmly on their path. there's a little bit of a faith involved here, whether it's a religious faith, a non-religious faith. It's the same thing, two sides of the same coin. It's a not knowing and trusting, a not knowing and trusting. It's the distance from here to here. When you're up here, you're firmly rooted in concrete thinking. You know to the preclusion of possibility. It's all about right and wrong. You know when you're right, you know when others are wrong. Very rarely are you going to run around and say, I'm going to be as wrong as possible. I want to waste all my energy as much as possible. Ananda Mayama said it best, figure from India, just wonderful. She said everyone's right. I mean, everyone's running around right. I have never in 56 years met anybody who said, I'm going to run out the door and be wrong all week long. I want to waste as much of my energy as I possibly can. And then I want to do it again the next day, the next day. I don't want to do it for 10 or 20 years straight. Instead, everyone's running around completely right, completely judging about people's lawns, real estate stuff, sports team decisions, you name it. But the more you pay attention, the more the universe engages you in sort of a beautiful waltz with a lot of serendipity and synchronicity, and then many miracles and later miracles. The more you'll simply realize, holy cow, I'm up here a lot. And when I'm here, it's like I'm on vacation, but I don't have to go on vacation to be here. So whatever this here is what the Buddhists try to teach you, or the mindfulness crowd, or the meditation crowd, or 100 other crowds. And then there's literally 4,000 organizations that are all trying to get you to pay attention to here. But again, being human, the mankind thing, the human nature thing, this thing gets in the way no matter what clothes you wear, no matter which organization you're about. If you go to the Consciousness Institute that's researching consciousness stuff, and you say, hey, I've got a bunch of light beings, angels, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Einstein, you can talk about consciousness with them and get any of your answers or any of your questions answered that you need. Most will say, go away. We're looking for consciousness. I'm borrowing from Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. The original quote was, truth comes knocking on your door. You yell, go away. I'm looking for the truth. The same with the Buddhist crowd. If you say, hey, do you want to meet Buddha, Kuan Yin, Chogyam Trungpa? Most of them will tell you to go away or not respond. It's just not in the human psyche. It's not in the realm of possibility that that humans are not at the forefront and the center of the universe. In fact, the human view is so limited, it would be that like we're the only casino on the Vegas Strip, and we're the only potential dealers at the card tables. We've got the only dealers available. No one else in the universe knows how to deal cards. And that's essentially the limited view we take, no matter which organization or group or nationality we're part of. In fact, love is so big, and the universe is so big, and there are so many different beings out there, beings that have been able to evolve beyond the corporeal, form, that are still light energy. They're love and above. They're highest frequency. They can still show up as full-on humans. I've helped folks see angels as in human form. I've seen an angel, happens to be Charlotte. I've seen a lot of angels in human form over time. But she showed up at Starbucks in Northwest Austin. I was meeting with my book manager, and a woman in a Santa Fe, New Mexico outfit, turquoise jewelry. In 10 years in Austin, I'd never seen anybody dressed like that. She was facing the wrong way in a Starbucks. Most people watch in this particular section of Starbucks where they look out the window and watch people go by. She was just sipping her coffee, staring nonstop the whole time. Later, I was able to ask, when angels are here in human form, do they actually drink the coffee? The answer was yes. I didn't ask who killed JFK. But the bottom line is you have no limits. The universe is unbelievably cool, and you can tap the universe anytime you want. And here's the good news. You're doing it all day long. You've been doing it all your life. You just have a little computer chip up here called intellect, psyche. It's 16 PhDs. It's your ego that thinks it knows something that blocks the appreciation and the allowing side of you to go, holy cow, this morning already 10 times in little acts that I did around the house or just on my way to work today. It was absolutely incredible. I was in the moment. I was in the zone. Your brain's job is to keep you focused on the stuff that truly doesn't matter. The worry, the fear, the stress, thinking that you're lacking something, that you're less than love. Love is a complete constant, to quote the Big Mary. Love is everywhere. Open your eyes to find love. And that is, again, another one of those hyper simple quotes. So, in 13 years of doing this and helping well over a couple thousand folks directly have an experience hearing, feeling, seeing angels, people can do this as a group. I've got photos of angels. I've got some movies of it or videos, whatever you call it. I'll have particularly South Africans for some reason as a guest on my show. They'll be chatting and a ball of light goes by. One was Heather, another was Joy when I was talking one Christmas. But the photos of angels are really nice. You can just see in human form. I have a lot of times guests see right here, or in the privacy of your own home or apartment, you can look out your window and a half football field away or a tennis court away, whatever you're comfortable with, you can see directly. You can do it sitting like this, mind's eye. That's a really popular thing for Americans these days, is to do it with your eyes closed. Again, any answers, all languages spoken, all dialects, tons of humor. I guess the way to say this is you're not alone in the universe. You're not alone on this unique life path that you truly do have. Angels can help you dust off that unique life path. You're actually firmly on it right now. You don't have to do much to get kind of reoriented. It's like flipping the sailboat back upright again so you could sail again. Um, as long as you recognize that the here and now, this moment is the occasion, that's the starting point. And the second you can realize what your energy looks like when you're in your brain, judging people, reacting, self-loathing, all the low vibrational dense stuff. It's like a hot stove, if I said that right, a stove top when the metal turns orange when you've left it on for a while. Everyone in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, 2000, when you were a kid, must have touched a stove at least once, because you know better now. You don't want to touch a stove. That's what this stuff is. It really doesn't accomplish much. A lot of the times when thinking is slightly productive, you've dropped your heart. So it's part of your heart. The creativity, the inspiration, when you're on fire, in the zone, flow state, typing away 55 pages in a day. You just ran your fastest 100-meter time. You're actually here. You're one with the universe. You're one with the Nike running shoes. You're one with the football, one on the pitch, soccer pitch with the soccer ball. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, is you're more in the flow state than you realize. You're just checked out of thinking so much that you don't give yourself any credit during the day. And that's where maybe Pieces Every Step, that little teeny book by Thich Nhat Hanh, can help you out. It can talk about all the things that you think are chores and tasks, mowing the lawn, washing the dishes, and how really any activity can become a chance to open openness. The doorless door, the gateless gate out of Zen, the Blue Cliff Notes version of getting to your heart, but then going through the reality that you thought you knew. Oh, I thought this was the way it all worked, and I thought these people are jerks, and I can't do love over here, and I certainly can't do love to myself because of this particular situation. And then because we've had a death in the family, there's no way I could do love for at least another year and a half. And because of this going on over there, I can't do love. Love is just going to have to wait. That's the job of ego, thinking there's a collective unconsciousness. So everything up here is unconscious. 1% of 1% of negativity to more and more density, depending on how towards hatred and violence and rejecting you do, slapping labels on everything and everyone, including yourself. But then here it's shiny and infinite. And again, no limits, no time. You've experienced here in very concrete and fun ways, high school, college. The professor, the teacher was totally boring or totally amazing. And you slipped into here and began daydreaming. And the 1 hour class went by in 15 minutes, or the 1 hour class went by in 2 hours. And if you want to take that out to the extreme, you might have accidentally seen auras on the students' heads in the row ahead of you. Theaters, movie theaters, opera are a great place to see auras on people in the rows ahead of you, respectfully so. When you're at a restaurant, people are eating, you're at your most relaxed, there's the chatter in the air. That is also a great place to do it. Or when you're in the park, leaning against a tree and just watching people enjoy the outdoors, another great place. But everything is made of light. Everything has consciousness, even this wooden table that you can't see right now. The trees will talk to you. This isn't me telling you this. This is every type of indigenous culture, India, there's a lot of room around the planet with a lot of different types of people who believe there's more than just meets the eye on everything. And I think the further you go in life, the more you pay attention, the more this will unfold for you. But that's really the thing, is you don't have to listen to any of this. You don't have to talk to an angel, but you can understand that you're not alone, that you're heard, and you can start putting out one-way requests. After all, you're doing that every single day. You're doing one-way requests, but most of your requests are for more negativity. You're dealing out negativity, you're getting more negativity back. What does negativity look like? Again, it's judging, reacting, fear, stress, worry, rejecting, resisting what already is. That's a really popular thing today. It's anti-free speech. It's something to the preclusion of someone else's well-being and their own personal existence. The good news is angels exist. Trust that this is so, and your answers and more will come. It's simply allowing for more in each moment. And most of this is actually just beyond words. If you go onto a tennis court and you hit 10 balls back and forth and it was the most fun ever and you're exhilarated, you're thrilled, that is the pinnacle of success. Letting go, breathing, smiling, being, and sharing a little bit of your light with someone else is all this is about. In fact, look at how strict everyone has become today, whether we're talking news outlets, governments wanting to restrict free speech, or social media platforms for years now restricting free speech. Would you dare do that with a stranger in any way? When you get to a 4-corner intersection with 4 stop signs, and there's a person walking the dog, or just a little old lady, do you try to evaluate which political party they are or what their latest social media statement is or was? No, you don't have a computer. You don't know what they're about at all. It's the pure trust at the humanity level that you actually wave them ahead of your vehicle if you're not in a rush. I'm a runner, so I still see 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 cars totally almost not hit me, but just like blow right through. They're in a rush. They're not going to wave you by as you're just running on the sidewalk about to cross a side street and you technically have right of way. It's all good, but think about how harsh it'll be soon that you're going to have a checklist for strangers being waved across the street if it keeps going the way it's going right now. So I'd like to read a little paragraph from an angel who just said what I think is one of the gentlest, easiest 3 sentences I've ever heard in my life. Sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment. So too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassionate to all. Do it. That's from an angel named Dale. You can see him as a Greg Kinnear looking fellow, full on. He said, if you don't know the actor Greg Kinnear, fine for George Clooney. I've seen him in Austin, Texas. He was wearing scrubs from the neck down, but looked like Dave Matthews from the neck up. I went from walking in Austin, slow, 70-degree afternoon in a January, like 10 years ago, to kind of speed walking New York City style because I felt the energy. I wasn't meant to talk to him that day, but I've seen him on the trails in Austin. I've seen him in Nantucket. I've seen him in other places. He's shown up and sometimes words are exchanged and so on, but you have no limits. You have unlimited possibility before you. You can go in any direction you want. You have an unbelievable amount of love within you. You are love, if I can be so bold. You can, again, meet angels, meet light beings, meet Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Gandhi, and figures from India, Divine Mother, Krishna, Ganesh, Lakshmi, Vishnu, like 20 other figures. But you can also meet your relatives. These are passed over loved ones. A lot of this stuff people are going to react to. The idea of just being, breathing, how simple this all is the opposite of what the ego is about. The ego has worked an awfully long time to build up a role, all the tasks you have to do, your self-identification or identification with this, with that, especially if you've had a super successful career or you've had a ton of failures. The mind identifies with accomplishments, with failures. This is just about being in the moment. So this is really about going beyond words. I think Seth said it in the 1970s. You get into your heart, and then you go through what you thought was your reality into a much broader existence that is just permanently there, that everyone has access to, but very few want to touch. Again, if you offer anybody in the Buddhist circles to meet Buddha, sure, some good-hearted. I've found in every group, there's always a few willing folks who are brave and don't mind being here and certainly would love to meet Buddha. But what I find is that the majority of just regular people are much quicker to be able to meet and see and hear and feel Buddha, and to even see golden flecks of light around you and get mini miracles or cities, than a person who's steeped in a lot of knowledge and tradition and knows what they're talking about. That type of knowledge doesn't get you very far for the act of letting go. This is more like a Peter Pan movie, and you're going to go with Tinkerbell to that pirate ship on Never Never Land, and check things out, than it is about a PhD or your intellect, or you were #1 in the 1970s for transcendental meditation. You literally won as a 10-year-old or a 20-year-old, you won 10 years worth of prizes and was recognized worldwide for your ability to go still, sit within. I mean, welcome to having an ego, welcome to having thinking, welcome to knowing what you know, but none of that's going to help you to do the letting go. You need to go out of the mind completely and just get to here. That's why I tell so many dad jokes. If you can laugh at a dad joke, you can let go, be in your heart, and receive all. So in a little bit, I'll blow sage. I blow sage through 2 screens. You'll smell sage. Why just settle for sage, even though it's incredible? You could call it plant medicine. You could call it universal light. You could call it the miracle of angels bringing you the sage. But you could catch sage. You could catch your favorite flowers, catch your favorite ocean, and then ask for a 4th thing that you could catch that angels will simply bring to you. The universe will bring to you. I've done this on the Angels, Positivity, and Love show. I think we're only around about 115 episodes or so that have aired, but we're close to 200 taped, with about 290 booked into almost November of next year. We broke the 500,000 view mark for channel visits, even though I think the channel itself in the details only says 435,000. Somehow there's a discrepancy when you go to the YouTube, the actual analytics, and you put lifetime. I never used the channel before I launched the channel, really. It does say 501,000. So I clipped that and put it up. I think we're at around 2,290 subscribers or so. I'm sure that'll leap in due time. It's always been super slow with social media. I mean, in 10 years to have 200 Twitter followers, or maybe 300 now, and to get 40 views on a Facebook post. I don't put a lot of stock in the social media stuff, but I also know that it always can take off in any given moment. It's the same with even the YouTube channel itself. The fun in this isn't about the statistics or the analytics, but the fun is interacting with people. It's basically an excuse to give the service away so people can meet and hear and see angels, their relatives, a Pleiadian, a Lyran, an Arcturian, again, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha. See them all at once here. Meet Audrey Hepburn. Let her bring you a perfume that's yet to be invented from Paris. And you can feel a hand on your shoulder. You can put your hand out and feel a human hand hold your hand. For the tiger from India that the Divine Mother rides on everyone's team, action. If I'm in my other sort of studio, the office, you can see that drawing on the wall. I typically use that. I have an AI one that I've done up now, so maybe we'll start using that as well. But you can feel the fur, shampooed fur of the tiger. And if you watch the shows enough and closely, you're going to pick up a lot. One is you can just see the whole spectrum of humanity coming onto the show. There'll be a few people that I forgot to do anything for. I forgot to light sage and blow it. I was so just astounded. We had a lot of fun before the show. They were just so bang on and so much fun during the show. I forgot to do anything. There's always a few serious folks who are still have incredible messages to deliver. It might be from the mind and a lot of experience and a lot of knowing. And we would never do sage or have them meet angels. They could even be head of an angel organization or head of a science organization that's all about meeting, I don't know, angels or alien life. But you can't tell anybody anything. Everyone is always 2 seconds away or half a second away from meeting an angel or a Pleiadian or your Uncle Joe or your grandmother if she's passed over, or your pets. And speaking of your pets, you can hear your alive pets. You can hear everything. Hummingbirds, trees. Not every tree is going to talk to you, but most will. You just have to be in your heart, and you actually have to want to pay attention. If you tried to sit still for 1 hour, good luck with that. That means putting this on the other side of the room or locking it up in a vault. You'll quickly discover how much you fidget. Try doing a silent retreat sometime. Try to pay attention to the stillness that's within and around you. And the stillness is a beautiful place. There's a quiet flow if you'll just pay attention that will carry you to your heart and beyond. And the universe is ready to respond to you. So what I was originally saying a little while ago was, you don't have to pay attention to any of this. You could just tell the universe, hey, make it nice, break me in a little bit, bring me a lot of humor and a lot of fun people and a lot of sparkly situations or sparkly serendipity moments. Help me ease into this pool. Couple toes at first, make it easy. Slip me into this pool. The pool itself is consciousness. It's awareness. You're here to grow your awareness. That's where it resides. Your love factor, your love quotient, your ability to pay attention, your ability to understand, are you flowing your energy through density, through negativity, through hatred, through violence, through, if you could just see the unlight, the non-light, the negativity that you are a lot of times. And it's me, it's everyone. I'm not trying to point the finger. It's all of mankind. How do 100 million people die, or just 8 million people in Cambodia, all due to a new political party coming in telling everybody how to live? And if you wear glasses, you went off to the killing fields or re-education camps in Cambodia. If you wore glasses, you were considered an intellect or an intellectual, and communism doesn't appreciate that. So you're a threat to communism. So you were re-educated or disappeared, which meant. So long story short, mankind's got a tremendous history of ugly stuff, and it hasn't faded at all. We still wage war and do all this other stuff over resources and justification for that and this. But love's been a constant, and we're getting a lot of help. And you could argue that we're getting so much help now that this is really something that's just around the corner or unfolding as we speak. I think that's really up to you. What will you allow for? Do you want to see some light in just a second? I'll put my hands up. You can see light. Sometimes when I'm talking like this, I've had folks see light, whether I'm recording or not, on me. You can see my aura around me. You can see a ball of light go by. You can see an angel in my hand as a pink ball of light, joy. Pass her through 2 screens. You'll see her in your hand. Bring her in for a hug. You can see a 28-year-old blonde, although at a Mega Institute 2 summers ago, they saw her as a brunette, without wings, then with wings. Once again, the human mind kicks in. Half of America has to see the angel without wings. The other half has to see him with wings. You know, spin the twister wheel on all the value systems and all the personal opinions and everything else. But I try to make sure you get at least 10 seconds one way, 10 seconds the other. Yeah. Again, I wouldn't want to change anybody's thinking. This is like trying to tell someone that their muffler's falling off on their car. You've been following them for 2 miles. How do you even flag them down? What do you do? It's the age-old question of, you know, it's Plato's cave, but let's not do the cave analogy. Let's do the jail analogy. You're holding onto the bar cell windows, looking out and wishing you were outside. You're watching kids play ball. You're a little kid. You're holding onto the bar windows and you're like, woe is me. Here's my situation. I'm so limited. This is how I define everything. I don't have enough money in the bank account. I got these 16 health issues, 5 divorces. I've just lost this. I've lost that. And you don't look and see that the jail cell door has been open the entire time, wide open. You just walk out, and 10 feet away is the door to the outside anytime you choose. And still, people go a lifetime without looking, just to see that the door is open and go, oh, I'm completely free right now. It's not conditional. I don't need to have this happen for me first to be happy, to breathe more in the moment, to smile more, to own what you've already got. You never lost. So let's catch some sage. Okay, so this is Juniper Ridge Sage. I think they still sell it at the Whole Foods. It's a California company. You can find it on my website. I'm not sponsored. I should be. And I think they've got really consistent incense and also bundles of sage. As I'm lighting it, if you're already considered intuitive or something, you might start tasting this. I've only got one bit of rule or a bit of structure, and that's just set your intent right now. Ask angels, the universe, to help you out of your head into your heart and say, thank you. Hey, angels, help me out of my head into my heart. Help me catch some sage. Thank you. And look at the smoke. Breathe and relax. Here's one dad joke and a red-tailed hawk feather. Where in a hospital is the worst place to play hide and seek? Where? In the ICU. If you're laughing, you're letting go. Now, catch some sage. If you have to stretch, do the chubby checker, do Elvis, step up out of your chair, and no one's watching, hopefully, but if they are, you'll get a bigger laugh. The more you can do something to break your structure, you just have a set way about you all the time, and the more you can do something spontaneous, you know you're truly in your heart. There's a lot of Zen stories or a lot of Zen teachings in that direction. Okay, catch the sage, but close your eyes now and ask for flowers to come in. Ask for your angels. Ask for Joy. Here's Joy's photo. Ask for Charlotte. And ask for my guardian angel, Min, silhouette. Although she's a white ball of light or metallic balls of light, there's no one way with the photos. To bring you an ocean smell. It could be Hawaii. Breathe extra through your mouth. That's an unofficial rule. The more you breathe through your mouth, it's like turning up the volume. Why not? 1 out of 100 people will be like, I can't breathe through my mouth. I'm a nose breather. Hate breathing through my mouth. Same thing with the hugs. Meet people who are like, oh, I can't get a hug. Just can't. I get it. But you could. And you can breathe through your mouth. And it means you're in your body and you're allowing more. You're turning up the volume. So you're fine. I'm going to put this out in just a second, but put your hand out and feel the sage smoke, the vibration on your hand. Put both hands out. Ask for it to go up and down your back. Ask your angels to bring it all around your house so you don't have to blow sage to clear your property out. What will you allow for is the rub, the gist, and the opportunity in each moment for all of us. So you can see light on my fingers. Again, 200 shows I've done blowing sage. I was a guest on, or I am a guest on probably, I'm going to say 70 shows in the last 2 years. I typically blow sage to show hosts. So it's across the globe. If you're in Australia, you smell the sage. New Zealand, you could be the producer, the show hosts, the audience, or if I'm the show host, you know, the guests are getting that. A lot of fun to see their reactions. So look for that in the show. Look for the opportunities where they actually are talking with angels. You can take the same steps. This is really that whole, I think it's Songyel Rinpoche once said, remember to remember. That's what I've been teaching my students for 35 years. This is probably 10 or 20 years ago he said this. And I've been saying, remember to remember, if you can remember to remember, when you remember. Good luck with remembering. Twice a month, twice a year, twice in a lifetime is generally how it works. What are you remembering? Up to you. Probably here, probably love, compassion, and you have no limits. Here's one more of those dad jokes. Look between my fingers, you'll see colored light. It's just aura, chakra, universal consciousness, Christ consciousness, anything you want to call it. The force from Star Wars. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen and Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's, Starbucks. And see a filament of light between my fingers. And if you're seeing that, say the colors out loud. But now ask for angels to make you something extra. Is it a butterfly, a phoenix, a tulip, sparks, vortex of light, fireworks coming off my light? Ask for something special. And you can play this over again. A lot of guests do that, and a lot of guests do it 2 different ways, and a lot of guests get extra. And it's what will you allow for again? In fact, I've got a guest whose show doesn't air until May 18th of 2025, but she already released it on our Spotify. Marilyn Hughes has 109 books out, the Out of Body Travel Foundation, super seasoned on everything spiritual and sacred around the globe. She's studied so many cultures, indigenous, religious, put it into so many books. She's had her own personal experiences from like age 9, late 20s, and then in her 30s and beyond. Definitely considered a figurehead in the spiritual community. And so we were playing around. We stopped recording the show, and we had played before the show. By played, I just mean listening to angels, seeing angels, feeling angels, getting hugs, getting answers. But after the show, I started recording again because we started getting scrambled screens on her end. She's the equivalent of an F1 Formula race car driver. When she concentrates like this, holy cow, and no wonder. But we actually got that on film. And she also put that up separately on Spotify. I think I got to put the 8 or 9 minute version up. If you go to the shorts section playlist, you can find it. She cupped her hands at the end and she got given something made out of light, an object. That's one of my signature moves for folks. You could get a flower, a butterfly, a hummingbird. I mean, one person got a buffalo, another person got a horse. She got a winged stallion, white Pegasus, I guess, flying around, and you can watch her head. And this is not a person who messes around. So, I mean, I can't tell you what is legit or not, but this is what hundreds of people have experienced for years. It comes back to what will you allow for. So if you're a hardcore thinker, you're never going to leave thinking. You're going to the last breath with thinking. I guess then the life review is the best thing, because then you see how much time you wasted thinking, not being loved. This is unlove. This is love. This is time, limits. You're late for stuff. You got to be here. You can't possibly play with your dog. You can't possibly be loved to your neighbor or to your wife or to your kid, because you got to be doing something. Here is timelessness, no limits, love, joy, creativity, true mastership, masters. There's a word in there somewhere. Being the master of the moment. When you master the heart and you're in the flow, anything you touch is love. I think Peaceful Warrior, the movie with Sock, the gas station attendant, sort of like the Mr. Miyagi figure. It's an adult Karate Kid film, even though it's a gymnastics movie. You'll never know it's spiritual or sacred or really about the universe. Talks about how everything that happens through the heart is incredible. It's why you see Olympic athletes blow up 10 years later when they're done, they're retired, and mentally they have a lot of difficulties. No one's training them to be all in every moment. They're just being the best they can be through the mind, the complexity. They're doing the hard method of perfection. And there's a greater method of being that allows you to not just be great on the athletic field or on the vault or on the rings, but that everything you touch is absolutely incredible. You're flowing love when you're love. You are love when you're love. It's a point that gets missed. And how you treat each moment spreads to all departments or areas of your life, your relationships with people or strangers, your own personal happiness quotient. That's what this is about, is cultivating the real you, the bigger you, the you that has never gone away, but does need just a little bit of paying attention. You want to grow your awareness. You don't want to grow your thinking. There's plenty of thinking going around. How's that working out for the world? And nothing in the world needs fixing by human beings. Human beings are the ones that are doing way too much right now. If human beings could just practice an hour of silent meditation a day, half the violence, half the difficulties, half the drama-rama would go away automatically. Half the illnesses, I bet, would go away. This isn't about the short fix of taking this or doing that to avoid doing regular exercise or avoid eating your fruits or to avoid doing a mindfulness meditation, taking a nap, taking a walk in nature. There's so much you can do to be in your heart that allows the universe to come in fully. And so it's better you not listen to me, but you hear it directly from Jesus or Archangel Michael or the Big Mary. You know, there's hundreds, if not thousands or tens of thousands of angels with all sorts of different backgrounds out there and stuff like that. Let's put up a photo of an angel named Joy. She's Joy. Put your hand out and feel the vibe on the photo. That's right. Just put your hand out and feel what you can feel. Don't judge. Breathe extra. Leave your eyes on the photo. She's moved. You can catch light if you want to catch pink sparks around you left and right in the peripheral if you're resisting. If you're loosey-goosey and you want to hear another dad joke and you can laugh, you're all set for some sparks. Or just a little flash that the brain says, I didn't just see that. The heart says, oh my God, that was pretty. It was a pink heart, pink shooting star. Little silver flecks of light like fish breaking the surface of the water. There's 1 million ways for her to show in light energy form, or just to show behind me as a human, 28 years old, blonde, jean jacket, upscale dress underneath, no wings, then wings. What will you allow for? Okay, here's your dad joke. Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. It's not important who's who. You don't have to remember. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sure, Bert. When you're laughing, you're letting go. You're in the flow. You're at peace with your surroundings and yourself. I'll show you some more photos. I probably won't do any more today. 4 archangels, one way, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, an angel who makes hearts in her photos. I've seen her in Stockholm, Maui, Vegas, New York, Austin, Texas. Mac, don't call her Mackenzie, everything plants, animals, and nature, or Rebecca from really far away where music came from. There's a harmony. She picked tranquility, but harmony, super big figure. Archangel Michael, another way. Plato, you can see the old man's face. No hugs for him. From him, they're sweaty. A fist pump works, tap on the shoulder. So do you think many people want to actually go wide open and have a lot of their troubles and difficulties and life challenges go away? No. The ego identifies and relishes the difficulties. It likes having my problem is, my situation is, my drama is, you can't possibly understand my situation. The divisiveness, the separation, that is ego. Ego is not about love. Ego is unlove. There's a huge swath of people out there who believe that ego needs to be cultivated or paid attention to. And to some degree, perhaps that's true, but it really comes down to where do you want to flow your energy? Do you want to flow your energy through ego, which is essentially negativity, resistance to what is, unlove? Or do you want to flow your energy, your life force through love? Do you want to be love? Let's do it this way. If you have a choice where you put yourself in each moment, I would think you would want to be choosing love as often as possible. That is the entire point of all of our existences, in spite of us having a unique life path. So choose love more often, allow ego to serve as a reminder when it pops up. You have to do all this figuring out. There's a lot of people who get so sophisticated and so knowledgeable so quickly, or have a lot of success career-wise, that their growth and expansion actually gets stymied. They think they know something. And the whole point of life, besides living and loving and flowing more love, or allowing for more love and sharing more love, is continued growth and expansion. The way I describe mankind is like just out of college. And this is me as much as anybody else I've ever met. Very few of us are consummate people who pay attention all the time. We just can't. There's some sort of an event, an accolade, an accomplishment. We're on our 19th PhD. We've won an award, a Nobel laureate for this, a New York Times bestseller for that. There's a lot of ways we get stuck in the little eddies of life. And the ego loves that stuff. You have unlimited room for growth, expansion, for in the moment appreciation and allowing and learning and experiencing. And so we're all kind of like the college kid who just got out of college in the basement, and we haven't gotten our first job yet. That college student has unlimited room for career growth. And that's really mankind today on all fronts. Space Force, US Space Force, do they know much about space? Yes, maybe, probably not, absolutely not. Pick an answer. You're going to be right no matter which answer you pick. And that tells you everything you need to know about thinking itself. The New York Jets are great, but then how come those 5 people over there who happen to be New York Giants fans say the New York Jets absolutely suck? And now take every topic out there. Sushi is really good. It could be at that particular restaurant or in general. And sushi is the worst thing ever invented. I hate the texture. If you take all the trillions, hundreds of trillions of thought forms, most of them cancel each other out. What you're left with is love. And so what's kind of cool is if you're really into art history, you're into wine and tasting wine, and you even love vineyards around the world. You're just into travel or cruise ships, or you like gliders, or you like hot air balloons, or you like 40 million other activities. In those moments when you're completely passionate about something, you love hummingbirds or horticulture, you love flowers, bird of paradise, your dogs. When you're in the flow, having a good time, enjoying all, being love, you're here. When you're up here, you're knowing something, slapping labels on everything, you're absolutely sure you're right. This is the opportunity for all of us, is to figure out the difference in flows, the difference of unlove, the global unconsciousness slipstream. You can meet the most able, acclaimed, successful writer, business person, expert, professor, director, author, spokesperson, actor, anything. And they can still be unconscious like the rest of us most of the day, half the day, 1/3 of the day. In fact, you're more open than you realize throughout the day if you would only just pay attention more. So if there were a few things I've learned in 13 years, like 3 things: angels exist, trust that. So let the universe come in and help. Just be like, hey, universe, I think that I'll take his whole show that he's taping right now, and I'll say, sure, fine. Make it so, surprise me, help me open up. Maybe dream time will be the easiest way to help slip me into the pool, just at least an ankle deep into this whole spirituality or awakening, or allowing for more love to flow through me, allowing me to have a smoother ride and a little more fun. I can actually use a little more sizzle, something new. I'm doing the same old ho-hum routine thing: rinse, repeat, rat race. It's easy to get stuck. I mean, that's all of us. It could be anything. You look at your bank account too much. You think your YouTube channel is too small. I watch YouTubers with, they could have 100,000, but they're not at 250,000. Or you're at 50,000, but you're not at 75,000 for an audience. Or you're at 2,500 and you're not at 3,000 yet. It could be running. It's the same ball of wax. Runners, I ran a 5K in 16:48 2 weeks ago, and today it was 17:03. I was off by just a little bit, and you beat yourself up over it. Same course, different day. Oh well. So how are you reacting to whatever's going on in life? That's my dog named Joy. She's named after, again, the angel named Joy, who's the pink ball light. Dogs have guardian angels, and your angels will be able to help you with your dogs. If you just want to listen to your angel, there's Joy. Her guardian angel is actually Emily. And the other one is Paisley, with her guardian angel being an angel named Claire. Here, I'll show you a concert photograph. This is from Austin, Texas, maybe 10 years ago or so. And it wasn't raining, anything like that. But beautiful photo and a lot of fun. You're surrounded all the time by angels and your relatives and loving beings of all shapes, sizes, and backgrounds. And I think that tells you all you need to know about thinking in the ego. Is its job is to filter everything out. Your ego is like the 1970s Polaroid camera. You click it and a thing comes out. Thinking is incredibly limited. It's, in a way, it's like the Morse code machines, those tapping the telegraph things. And there's cell phones available, or there's telepathy available today. But humans don't want to hear about cell phones. Humans don't want to hear about new, quicker ways to be more efficient with their energy, to be more loved, to be more harmonious, and to be more part of the galaxy, the universe, rather than being shut off and sticking with sort of the unloved, unconscious crowd. Things would be so much easier if we were somehow quick or quick-witted or intelligent. I know we think we're intelligent. There's even Mensa clubs and everything else, but humans in the big picture, we sort of like have blinders on. We're just completely tuned out of what's important. You could be the greatest Wall Street person earning $10 million a day on the cover of Time magazine, if it still exists, Fortune, all those media outlets that I used to pay attention to. Part of my life as a publicist for 18 years. Thank God I don't look at the news that much anymore. It's changed a lot. It's okay. But I'm luckily able to focus more on the universe, trying to help people open up just a little bit. Here's a photo from a concert in Austin, Texas. It's not raining. You can see some balls of light down by the people. If you've ever wondered why there's a high vibe at a concert, this is what you can see if you took a photo playing ball with your dog. Before you play ball with your dog, you take a photo, there might be just 3 balls of light up there. The more you have fun and you're interacting with your dog and your dog is bouncing back and drops the ball in front of you, hopefully you have a good dog that way, you've trained your dog, and you throw the ball again, the more the angels come in, they're enjoying the spark of life, the joie de vivre of life, the just having fun. So this is all about compassion, kindness, universal love, universal kindness, the flow. There's a million ways to say it, but it's all really beyond words. You have to use your own language. You have to choose your own everything. Can you go easy about all this? There's nothing to gain again. There's nothing to lose. You're perfect and imperfect at the same time, exactly how you are. Your ego wants to grab a clipboard and say, well, he was right about this, this, and this. We'll start 2 Tuesdays from now. And yeah, we'll disagree with this, and maybe not for that. And then you'll go 2 years later and realize that clipboard is in the closet and you haven't taken a single step. It does become like a New Year's resolution there. The ego's job is to confuse everything and to resist or to react to everything as well. You literally right now, you have no limits. You're like a Marvel superhero. You could be seeing an angel right here. You could just close your eyes and put your hand out and feel energy come into your hand. If you want to look, you could see a pink ball light, Joy. Ask her a question. Ask her the easiest puff questions ever. Joy, what do I need to know in life right now? Leave your eyes on her. Let her do her job. Get out of your head, into your heart. If you need extra help, angels, help me out of my head, into my heart to hear Joy right now. Replay this part again, but you'll hear a hey, relax and breathe. You'll hear her say that. It might sound like your voice for just a split second. The second you really let go, that last 1% of 1%, just turn the volume up, breathe through the mouth, be in your heart. You have to put 2 hands on your heart, fine. If you need to prep for this, go take a shower, take a walk, exercise, do the pull-ups, have a cup of tea. What helps you relax more to be you? You know you. And you've spent a long time, all of us, run from ourselves. We have a huge heart. Sometimes we're just giving. This is about receiving all from the universe. The universe is here to unconditionally love you, and they already are 24/7. Plenty of people say, no thanks, and they know better. And then there's others who don't know anything. You're still responsible for all your energy transactions. There's no ignorance is no excuse. So how you're flowing is, it's easy to reject all. It's easy to think you know everything. This is just about allowing more daily in life. The universe is super sharp. Humans are not. You can have any answer to any questions for anything. You just have to have the ability to listen or to want to pay attention. That's not a big occurrence in the world right now. There's plenty of people who will pay attention. Look at the show. I've got guests coming on who are at least paying attention, I think, quite a bit, often. Really fun guests, very diverse, 25 countries, I think. Some really big names. But sometimes there's such a big name that, can I say anything? I don't want to rock the boat. I don't know. I mean, this is a tough topic for folks to pay attention to. Let's say there's a guest who studied with Einstein when he was alive. How do you say, hey, you could just meet Einstein again? See him, feel him, hear him, reminisce about your time together. It's like reuniting with your best friend you haven't seen in 5 years. It could be about your teacher. You knew Chogyam Trungpa. I've done that for 2 people who studied under him when he was alive, and 1 journalist in India who had met him briefly. But then, like I said, it's so much easier for people just off the street who don't know who he is. It's faster and easier for them to meet Chogyam Trungpa than the Chogyam Trungpa crowd or Buddhists. Same thing for Buddha. Same thing for Jesus, generally speaking, because there's no trappings. There's no, well, it's got to be this way. People tend to be wide open all over the globe. So Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, is it people from India who are meeting him more, or is it regular Americans, Australians, and everybody from everywhere else who wouldn't have known necessarily who he is? Or Sri Kaleshwar? I think it's a little bit of both. I think it really comes down to spin the wheel in an open mind and an open heart, person who's being compassionate in the moment and really hearing what's being offered. But it also depends on the day of the week. The person who was open today and meeting Chogyam Trungpa a week from now says, no thanks, I'm all set, never going to do that again. And then 3 years later, 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, no, I'll do it. Humans are also like reeds blowing in the wind. So you can't judge them. Even if on a Tuesday, they're the meanest person ever, by Thursday, they could be the nicest person ever. And then by Friday, they could be the meanest person ever again. It just spin the wheel. It's Scrooge from Christmas Carol is every single one of us. It's a 79-page book, beautiful movies, black and white from the 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, a gajillion different versions. But the 79-page book, at the start of the book, I think everyone's in agreement. Scrooge is a jerk. He's down to dental floss for his life force. He doesn't allow for much. If the word money is in the sentence, perfect. Beyond that, he's shut tight like an oyster, like most of us are, for at least an hour a day. But we forget by the end of the book, he's the biggest joy bringer ever. He still is a good business person. His energy field is wide open. He's compassionate. He's got Riz. I just learned about that expression a week ago and have now heard it twice. So he's got lots of charisma, Riz. You and I would want to cross the street to go chat with him as he's walking along. There's probably a crowd hanging on his every word. He probably tells dad jokes in his later development. He's a joy bringer. And again, he still does good business. So what will you allow for? Good luck allowing for anything. I'll do a couple of quotes though. This one's from India. I don't know who said it. A mind that is fast is sick. A mind that is slow is sound. A mind that is still is divine. Getting out of the comfortable path, that's what exploration is all about. Story Musgrave, NASA astronaut, said that one. Your unconscious mind speaks a language people can hear even when your conscious mind has not spoken yet. But I'd also just say it's how you dress, how your lighting is, and how do you come across. If you're showing up to be a guest on the show, but then you got to cancel, and all the language in the world is one level of interaction, but you can just taste the wind on anybody and see where they're at, respectfully so, without judging. Everyone's somewhere. I don't think a lot of people realize how much you can just look at someone's photo and know where they're at. That's kind of cool. But again, try to do so respectfully and not judge, and just realize that everyone's on their path firmly, and then we're all learning, and we're all learning to let go, and we're all learning to try to be a more loving individual, Earth School, or whatever you want to call this place. A little more consciousness, a little more fun. Okay, here are a couple quotes for you. Some people talk to animals, not many listen though. That's the problem, and that's the opportunity. Winnie the Pooh said that. Some people talk to animals, not many listen though. That's the problem. Think about that. Everything is alive, conscious, and speaking. The animals have it together. The trees have it together. They know their own nature. They know thyself. They know themselves. They just are. Humans, when you're a kid, you knew yourself. When you're a kid and you're like, I'm going to climb that tree branch, you were comfortable with who you were. You didn't have any preconceived notions. You didn't have this huge encyclopedia of knowledge that prevents you from being more love and sparkle in the moment. Wayne Dyer, you can meet him. The highest form of ignorance is when you reject something you don't know anything about. Here's a guy, Etsuo Asano in Japan, who is renowned for his vegetable growing ability. He's a farmer, I guess, but every restaurant that's a 5-star restaurant wants his vegetables. He puts a lot of care and attention. He said, never pretend to understand. Constantly remind yourself that you don't know what's going on, and the vegetables themselves will help you understand them. They'll give you the instruction you need. And he's a true artist. If there's such thing as being a vegetable artist, and you're a restaurant, you're a chef, you're a restaurant owner, you want his vegetables. Trust me on this. Here's another one. Carried this saying around for 18, or I've carried it around since about 92. So, yeah, 32 years, but it's got the word expression non-duality in it, which I got stuck on for like 16 years. Here's one from Siddha Katrapa, if I said it correctly. Whatever the yogin sees is his instruction, and realization that all he sees is unborn. That means nothing is the way you think it is. Everything is possibility when you see it. Everything is still unfolding, and if you come from a place of love, it unfolds even broader, more fun, and you'd be surprised. But it's so much easier to deal in right and wrong. And as angels say, there is no such thing as right or wrong. There is proper understanding. The only way you'll get the understanding is to be allowing for broader consciousness, more awareness, a broader field, a broader awareness, a broader frequency, a higher frequency, more allowing. You know, when a person's absolutely right and very narrowly focused, slapping the gavel down, that's really like dental floss existence, like Scrooge. It's not a lot of fun. Whatever the yogin sees is his instruction, and realization that all he sees is unborn. That is the most excellent guru. Innocence is the way to realize non-duality, for here the effects of virtue and vice are one. I like that one. Accepting ourselves means lightening up the ancient burden of self-importance. I think we all get trapped by where we think we are, what we think we've done, how we think we've failed, where we think we're falling short, how we think we've been wounded, how we think we're stuck in grief, how we think we're in a job loss situation when we're really in an opportunity for further growth. Everything is a reminder for further love. People come and go in our lives, whether they're departing to the other side or to a broader reality, and they're actually, available to you now, or they've just left your life. You had a breakup. There are people who come in for very short periods of time, one way or the other, and we're lucky enough to interact with them. Can you have a perspective of gratitude for those interactions? I lost my dad at 1970 at the age of 2. It was his time to go. He had just turned 25 or 26 on a June 7th, and he passed on the 10th off of Naples, Italy at night in an F-4 Phantom fighter with a commander of his squadron, the Black Aces, off the USS Roosevelt. It was his time to go. No body recovered, but his helmet and a piece of the wing. In 1998, 28 years later, they put him in Arlington ceremony, maybe on Veterans Day. We had the jets that day, so the Washington Post showed up. They missed the jets. They went by too fast doing the missing man flyover, but they put my dad's caisson above the fold front page of the Washington Post, and it was good closure for everybody who knew him. My mom had passed by that point, though, when I was turning 23, when I was 22. It was her time to go in her 40s, early 40s. And she was an artist, great at getting people together and stuff like that. Hundreds of people have seen my mom and dad, more like a Target situation, or an open spaced spot where you're comfortable. The more distance, the better. But here's a photo of them. They're super nice. They're reconciled, unconditional love, spirit guides, if you want to put it that way. Sweethearts. And here's a photo of them. That's Barb and Mike Sr. And that's how they come across. So there's always constant change. It's a scary thing. I'm going to read a passage from my Listening to Angels book. It's $7.99. It's a 15-minute read. It was written by angels. The book cover is actually of 2 angels in light energy form. I've already showed them. It's Min and Charlotte. And this is the book cover. It's got 2 angels. The blue one is Charlotte, Min in light energy form, metallic balls of light, daytime shot. No one way about the photographs. No one way. I never try to predict my guardian angel, Min, how she's going to show. Pacific Princess. She might be Mother of Hawaii. Definitely a touch of Hawaiian spirituality in her. You can catch the smell of Hawaii when you see her. Absolutely a wonderful guardian angel. If you check out August 30th, 2024, that episode of Dr. Karen Wyatt, she describes meeting Min at the foot of her bed as a hallmark white angel dressed in white when she was 8, 9, 10 years old. And that's how she wanted to become a doctor for the rest of her life. And she became a doctor. And here she is interviewing with us as a retired physician. And she got to meet Min in human form for 30 minutes on Redondo Beach. This isn't about anything I can tell you about. You would have to not be in a resistance place up here, judging it all and trying to take notes. And is this correct? Is it possible? Is it not? There's no way. This expert over there said there's no way. I know how science works. Wait till 1,000 teenagers learn a little bit about science. They got the lingo down and the formulas and whatever else. And wait till they start talking with the universe and listening to the universe, more importantly. Science as we know it is Hindenburging, gone. Science as we know it isn't even really science in a sense. You can look at some of the sciences where stuff's been sort of hidden or repressed simply because it's a control thing. Yeah, I mean, how great is science doing these days? If it's a baseball team, I don't know who's in the dregs, not doing so hot. I don't know who's slumping right now, so I don't want to name a baseball team, but no one's batting 1,000 right now if you look at society or the media outlets or the governments or all these censorship groups and everything else. So don't worry about humans being human. It's what goes on all the time. I'm shocked to see there's gambling going on at the casino. I'm just trying to point out that if you look up, you'll realize, oh my God, the universe is really big. Look at a starry night. Yeah, it's really big. Okay, here's the appendix from Listening to Angels. It was a 2-time #2 bestseller on Amazon. No one can claim being a 2-time #2 bestseller. Everyone's a #1 bestseller. Very special. But it was written by angels. There's no way I wrote this. Everything I say, if there was any good portion of anything I've said so far, after 13 years, I've retained this much. And it was literally angels who said it first. I don't think I have an original quote. I thought the remember to remember, if you can remember to remember, when you remember was an original quote. And then a book at a bookstore in Texas fell off the shelf. No one was around. I'm like, what's going on? It opened up. It was the prelude or the prologue to a Tibetan book of dying. It's a very popular book to do your own translation of. And there was a foreword by Songyal Rinpoche who said, remember to remember. I teach my students that. I've taught my students that for 35 years. And I was like, oh boy, there's nothing that I say that's quite original. Okay. What's up with mankind? Why angels now? Awareness for mankind is on the horizon. Call it a spiritual awakening if you wish. It's a chance for all to grow. Mankind's ready for more unconditional love and compassion for all, and more compassion by all for all is needed. Mankind is ready for change from rat race mode. Happiness is obtained in the absence of ego. Ego's afraid to be vulnerable, to let go, and to be in the unknown. Again, there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Move past seeing the negative. Compassion can be taught through one's own actions. How? Slowing down would do a world of wonder for most people. Taking a breath, as Mother Teresa said, for most people, compassion is like a deep breath. That's the closest they're going to get in an entire week because they're up here the whole time. Slowing down would do a world of wonder for most people. Doing it consistently is where the problems and opportunities lie. So stay present. Start right now. Letting go means less thinking. Do not get lost in perceived tasks, roles, ego. I'll add failures and accomplishments, etc. Being in the moment itself is to do compassion for all. For individuals, an egoless path would be great, but it's just not realistic. Allow ego to serve as a reminder when it pops up. A reminder for what? You decide. How about a reminder to breathe? How about a reminder to enjoy each moment as it comes? Believe that all moments can be the same. Whether it's a moment at work or a moment looking at nature, all moments are already the same. They are the same and peaceful. Love is a constant. The universe is a constant. Mother Earth is a constant. Nature is a constant. Only you being worked up in the brain situationally, and maybe justifiably so in your mind. Well, you got a cousin who's sick. You just lost your job. The car doesn't work. The finances, the this, the that. There's never going to stop. There's millions of reasons why you can't be happy. But remember the quote from earlier. You can be happy now in this very moment for no reason whatsoever. Do that, and you're like Scrooge without the 30 seconds of dream time, getting his butt kicked by a ghost of Christmas past, present, future, and accepting a little bit of responsibility for where he puts himself. And that joy and love and kindness and compassion trump being a dork with thinking. We're all dorks. Welcome to gambling in the brain casino up here. Whether it's a moment at work, blah, 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 only thinking something can interfere with this peacefulness, the harmony of the moment. Likewise, they're not separate paths for mankind, or separate worlds for individuals. One is one. Through awareness and owning the consequences of one's thoughts and actions, a person begins to see how all of life is truly interconnected and one. The second you can ditch your thinking is when everything cool happens in life, and it has always been that way. Your last breath for a life review will be just all the moments of love. If you're ever shown how you didn't do love when you could have, all the thinking you did, oy vey, they're going to have to do really fast millions of screenshots because that's the majority of most of our lives is doing thinking. Don't beat yourself up over this. Faith in all can lead to a change in mankind. Religious faith, non-religious faith, it's the same letting go to get to here. This is the path for all of man. This is about man bringing peace and joy to all. This is about your personal growth in your life and finding the next stage in your soul's development, as well as the continued evolution of mankind. The greatest gift is allowing. All is growth and change, always. This is frightening for some. There's nothing to do here. You're already the sensei, the Jedi expert, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're already that Navy SEAL. There's nothing to do here. Slow down the doing. We all think we got to go sign up for a Joe Dispenza class or get to Omega Institute or do this, do that. Yeah, buy their books, do their classes and everything. But at the end of the day, the only place you can go is here. It's the last place you want to go. You'd rather do 40 Machu Picchus and 50 years of seeking than to go to the one place you don't want to look at your own self and how much love you really are in spite of your details. Okay, The greatest gift is allowing all is growth and change. This is frightening for some. There's nothing to do here. Slow down the doing. Instead, breathe, smile, and relax. Appreciate all. You don't have to meditate for 8 hours either, or do transcendental meditation. Compassion for all is life. This is also about acceptance for all. Regard others as yourself generously and without fixation. Believe in all. It is much simpler than people think. Again, this is because this is not about thinking, but less thinking. Open yourself up to life. Speak with us. Be. And Angels said the following quote, "There is no time, we just are." And how big of a deal is this for an individual, again, to just pay attention more? When no ego is present, your heart and soul shine through your eyes. You are love, you sparkle. You are one with all and at peace with all. You are whole and content. Listening itself is opening the line of communication available to each human. Merely be still and listen. Acknowledge and own the step. Move forward today. Just do it. This is a bit like a classic treasure hunt, but here you get to find yourself, since you are the treasure. Do nothing. Be, listen, learn, appreciate. This is not about any particular words or concepts. None of the organizations out there, any of the 40, 100,000 organizations are experts. This is not about any particular words or concepts. Grow your awareness, not your thinking. Be loved to all as often as possible, no more and no less. If you spent all your time being loved to all, you would have less time for ego or causing harm elsewhere. And that book is $7.99 at Amazon, Listening to Angels, Michael André Ford. You can find it on my website. You can find a few sample pages from it. It's a collective voice of angels, all angels, plus some other figures in there. My Glow Stick Zen book, I wrote 1/3 of it. It's 1,300 pages, more like 3,400 pages if you're using an iPad and that reader system that Apple has. The Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, angels wrote most of that. The bad parts, I'll take credit for it. Look, you've got everything within. Take a breath on it, smile, try to remember you're already flowing to the max. If you would just pay attention, you've already got it all within. And if you want to close your eyes right now and ask an angel to come in and just feel a vibration come in, feel a wind in the room, get a touch on the shoulder, get a hug. There's a million ways to feel an energy bump, transaction, a hug. Ask for the smell of flowers. What will you allow for? I'm going to leave you with that. Leave your eyes shut. It's Michael André Ford in Texas. Check out the YouTube channel, but only like 1 out of 5 people who visit the channel actually hit a subscribe button. You can hit the notification button. You can share. You can comment. You can like, a thumbs up. All that stuff makes a difference. We have a really small footprint, but we have a huge guest footprint simply because we're unlike any other show. Guests are taking steps on air. And one day this will have a much broader following. Same thing with angels themselves. Right now, we're all super busy doing what we do best as humans. But the second we want to pay attention more, the universe opens up for us. Thank you very much. Have a great one.